Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are. Welcome back to the Driving My Mind podcast. Again, my apologies. I can't get them out weekly right now. I'm just super swamped. So I even mentioned in my my visit to Riverside Cars and Coffee, I was like, sorry about the podcast. I might have to change it to once every 2 weeks. LOL. I'll try. Did I just really say LOL and then laugh? Oh, God. I'm turning into a teenager again. But anyways, until I can get a more consistent schedule, I will definitely try to do it. Once a week is my goal. Once every 2 weeks is probably more realistic until things settle in. But again, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for the patience. Continue to support the YouTube channel, Your Ride and I. And thank you again for listening to my podcast. This is the best way to, just listen a quick 15, 20 minute rant and rave on anything I got going and driving my mind. So I'm hoping to drive your mind for anything car related. So for today, considering Southern California's kind of weird weather, we had that hurricane I mentioned on the previous podcast with the Gran Turismo review, which I guess it's been popular. That's good. I'm glad people are going out and supporting and seeing it. But again, we have this like super weird weather where it's raining in August, and we got wind and cloud and the humidity is up like crazy. And like normally August, sorry, my cat's down here. Normally August and September is just brutal. Normally we have a lot of the wildfires and stuff going on right now, but dude, yeah, we have this rain, and so we're going to have a lot of extra growing plants, and then we'll have the wildfires probably in like October and November. It's like, I don't know. Things are going nuts right now, but for better or for worse, we'll take care of what we got weather-wise. And so I bring up today's topic all about detailing because there were a couple of meets I wasn't even able to attend, namely because it was raining and it was like nasty. Lethal Culture had their meet on a Friday and it was like raining at that time, and it cleared up. And and truth be told, I should have just took the daily and went out there, but it was a Friday and I was just like, I'm done. But anyways, yeah, so we have raining, and so I wanted to dive into detailing, and for those that have attempted to learn how to properly wash your car, I can give you guys a good rundown. Where's the rundown? I'm giving you the rundown. If you haven't seen that joke, check out the Office episode on that one. But I'm going to give you just a quick rundown of what it's like to properly wash your car and detail your car paint correct, and some of the YouTubers I definitely want you guys to check out and support. So let's dive right in. So when detailing and washing your car, obviously the most important thing to know is that those Arco car washes are like the worst thing you can do for your car, right? I mean, those automated machines are just blasting and truthfully probably scratching your paint, literally. And so that's the worst thing you can do to your car. It's taking it to those auto car washes. Some of them have gotten better. There's this one where the twirly little things, I call it the meat grinder, right? But the meat grinder twirly things, they don't twirl as fast, and they actually use like a microfiber cloth. And this looks at least the most safest in my opinion. But like I just recently took my daily, because my daily I don't care. I take it to the meat grinder, and yeah, dude, the thing is just like blasting the door. And so what comes out, it looks clean. Again, that's why I take my car there. It looks clean. It comes out clean, but you're not getting. You're ruining your paint. You are literally ruining your paint. And just getting off like the old dust and water spots, which I was getting off. But you don't want to take your pride and joy into these automated car washes. The one exception would be the touchless car washes, where they just put soap, water, and a high pressure, air. There's no meat grinding twirly things on your car. And so that would probably be your only exception for like a really quick wash. But then again, some of the chemicals that they use in there are really like industrial grade and kind of meant to like, they really take off a lot of any sealant you may have on your car. So you want to be kind of aware of those. Those are good, quickie, like maybe you drove 1,000 miles from Southern California to Northern California. It's more like 600 to 800, but anyways, maybe you drove 1,000 miles and you just need a quick rinse, but you don't want to ruin your car, taking it to a meat grinder. So avoid those at all costs. So you're saying to yourself, okay, so I want to learn how to properly wash my car. Well, let's look at your car's condition. Is it an older car? When I first got my S2000, it was, obviously it was a 20-year-old car at the time. And a little under 20 actually, but who's counting, right? It was like a 16 or 17-year-old car. I mean, it's still old. And so when you take it to a proper detailer, I got it ceramic coated and paint corrected, which will go on towards the end of the podcast. But you have to look at the condition of the paint. Do you have any clear coat peeling off, right? Do you have a lot of like deep scratches that actually are in the sheet metal, right? Or do you just have a lot of swirls and micro marring? What I mean by swirls is if you take your car out into a nice sunny day, or you can even buy a special light for them. Some of those lights are really inexpensive, Amazon Chinese special. Some of them can get quite pricey for the professionals. Those true tone kind of lights, right? But the sun is free and it's the best thing you can take a look for your car. And if you look at the right angles, you'll actually see it's like almost like a spider web kind of look on your clear coat, where on certain angles you don't see it, but then you take it out to the sun and you angle your head a little bit, you'll see a massive amount of what we call, the swirls or the micro marring. And so that's on the surface of your clear coat. And it ruins kind of like the brightness or the clarity of the finish of your car. And so typically most well taken care of cars are going to have those swirls, and we want to take those out. We can do it safely. If you have deep scratches in the sheet metal, or you have some clear coat peeling off, or some fading of the paint, that's definitely going to have to be like completely redone at a body shop. If you're going to have any rust spots or paint chipping, that's going to be best left to a body shop to kind of address. And so this may not be for you. But if you just have those swirls, this is the right podcast for you. This is the right detailing method that we're going to do. And just if you have a car in relatively good condition paint wise, definitely you're going to want to go into the next step. So after evaluating your car's condition, you just have lots of swirls. It's been well loved, well marked by previous owners, or perhaps even yourself. Now is the time to wash it correctly. And so, everyone says, you got to use the 2 or 3 bucket method. And I agree. You should have 1 bucket, fresh soap, fresh water, nice and sudsy, and a very good microfiber cloth or towel, not towel, cloth. I use the microfiber cloth that's shaped like a hand, and I put it in there, and you have a grit guard in there as well. And the grit guard is kind of like that funny looking, if you've ever mopped the floor, right? On the very bottom of the bucket, there's a grit guard. And so that keeps any loose dirt particles from going back into the water. And so you want them in all your buckets, truth be told. And so get a good microfiber glove kind of wash mitt. You get nice, good soap, pH balanced or neutral, right? Nothing too acidic, nothing too like weak or base. It's base, right? And so you want to rinse bucket, again, most important with a grit guard, and don't be afraid to change your water as much as you like. And then that third bucket is just for your wheels, okay? And then you can have a special brush or still use a wash mitt. And wheels are typically your dirtiest. If you have a lot of brake dust and all that, you're going to want to use that third bucket for just your wheels. And so when preparing your car, you have those awesome videos of all the super snow foam and all that stuff. You'll definitely want to foam your car. That's kind of like as a pre-wash or pre-cleanse of your car. And you're also going to want to do any, iron remover, bug remover, any of those harsher chemicals. Now would be the good time before you actually do your wash. Get that in there and get all the gunky, greasy stuff off your car. You're going to want as much of a clean surface as you can before you paint correct it and shine and protect. So go into that, look into that, and definitely the 3 bucket method is going to be your number one choice for it. Okay, and a good clean microfiber wash mitt. Foam everything up, let it soak, let it rinse, let the water kind of seep into the panels and the coat. Rinse it and then do your hand mitt. And then the direction, you don't want the circles as much as Mr. Miyagi was training to do the circular motion. You're going to want just simple, straight back and forth patterns, light pressure, okay? Really, really light pressure. If there's some really gunky, bad stuff, you're going to want to lubricate and keep washing with, adding some pressure, but you want to keep the car lubricated or wet, if you will, in order to avoid scratching or making new paint and impressions on it. Now, moving on, toweling and air drying, right? So there are tons of towels. The Rag Company is my favorite. But you want, obviously, the softest towel possible that absorbs the most amount of water. Reason being is any towel or anything that you're doing to touch the paint is an opportunity to ruin it, right? Anytime someone's touching your car or touching your paint, leaving smudges, or you have a towel that's just a little bit too rough, there's a chance or an opportunity to mess up the clear coat on it. So you want the softest towel that absorbs the most, or get yourself the air dryer. I use my freaking lawn blower, and I'll use that and I'll get as much water off of it as possible. And luckily, living in SoCal, you'll get a lot of the water that comes off just through natural evaporation. But, some people are going to have to towel it. And so you're going to want light pressure on the towel, touching your paint. And don't be afraid to, get several towels in order to do that. And again, one easy back and forth motion, and then you'll be good to go. Okay, but you want to touch the paint the least amount possible for that. All right, now we're on. You have a beautiful car, clean car. Technically, it's looked good, but any kind of sealant or wax that you've had on your car is more than likely all gone, or very, very thinly left after your wash. And that's going to be the time where you're going to prep the paint for a new application of protectant and sealant. And so this is where the clay bar comes into place. And I definitely recommend claying, especially in a bad environment, every quarter, every 3 months. Sometimes 4 months you can get away with 3 times a year, but if you're in a tough community or you're driving your car a lot, definitely going to want to clay it. And so a clay bar is a way to get any contaminants that are stuck kind of on that clear coat. It's a great way to get it out. Now, be very careful though, because clay bars are technically a type of marring of your clear coat, and they have different levels of grittiness to it, and you could potentially make a unshiny spot into your clear coat where you're going to have to buff it out. Or actually use a polisher to get it out. So you want the lightest possible kind of clay bar, because it is actually, marring up your clear coat in order to get some of the stuck on tree sap or contaminants in your clear coat. They make the synthetic clay bar, which honestly, I tried the one for freaking AutoZone, the Griot's Garage one. And dude, honestly, that saves a ton of time. Some people are purists and will use the your standard clay bar, and I think everyone should do that once in their life. As soon as you drop it, you dump it out. You got to get a new clay bar. But I think everyone should have that opportunity to use it, to learn it, to handle it, and you'll still get very good results. But the synthetic clays, and there's now like towel clays, especially if you're doing a truck, oh my God, it saves so much time. But you definitely want to clay before you're going to do your polishing, or just go straight to your protectant. So clay bar, use it. I would say only once a quarter in a bad place. If it's a garage queen, I would say no more than twice a year. Okay. Cause it has an opportunity to ruin that clear coat. All right, now we're on to your compound and polishing. Now, this is not necessarily for the beginners, but it's relatively easy to learn. And dude, Detail Garage, right? Everyone knows Detail Garage, Chemical Guys. They're an awesome company. Not all their products are fantastic, but they really want to support the car community with learning how to properly take care of their car and wash their car. Take the classes. They offer classes that teach you how to do the compound and polishing. And I think it's a wonderful opportunity to get just that baseline level of knowledge. There are tons of YouTubers. Yes, Pan the Organizer, Detail Garage, Detail Garage, Obsessed Garage, right? There's Chicago Auto Pros, so many awesome detailers and their videos, and they will teach you a good amount online at YouTube University, right? But I would say if you can get some hands-on training, take a couple of classes there, take a couple of classes at maybe a local detail shop in the area I live. SoCal Auto Wax does classes too. That's a wonderful opportunity to talk with a true professional on detailing. And definitely I would say go into that. But pick up your DA polisher, right? And you're going to have to go through a list of compounds. That's the rough cut, okay? Then your polishing kind of compound, I guess as you say. So compound and polish, right? You're going to pick a rough cut kind of compound, then a smoother cut polish. And then if you want to do any glazing or go straight to your sealant, that's where you would go next. So there's 2-step, there's 1-step, there's 3-step type of polishing. Typically on your first attempt, you're going to want to do a 2-step with probably a light compound and then a light polish. And then you can judge your paint for the next one. Or do you want to go heavier in the compound and heavier on the polish? Or maybe your car didn't need that much and the paint cleared up perfectly. Maybe on the next time you're just going to want to do a polish, right? And there's an opportunity to try different products, do some test spots, and really kind of see, okay, well, how much of the clear coat am I taking off? Which again, it's minuscule, it's micrometers. So don't worry too much about messing up your car's clear coat or your paint, because most of these products are not going to dig well into it. You can't ask for some of the heavy duty kind of stuff, and they will warn you like, dude, this will take off a lot. So don't worry too much about the consumer grade products that are out there in terms of taking off how much clear coat. But you'll definitely want to test. You want to test spot, and you want to see how much clarity you're going to get with your compound and your polish. Now, I've done a couple of my coworkers' cars just as an opportunity to learn and practice, and I've always just cut a little less, always, right? But for your car, especially if you want to do it right the first time, you're going to want to do some test spots, and you're going to really want to find the right combination of compound, polish, and if you need that 3rd step, definitely it can be a lot. Now, after that, you're going to want to test out different pads, right? Different foam pads, different cutting pads, or even microfiber. Microfiber is the one where it can create a lot more heat and get a little more cut, but it also can quote unquote burn your paint, where you're going to get that unevenness in your clear coat if you just leave it on a spot for like 1 full minute, right? Which truthfully nobody's doing, but you're going to want to test out different pads, different cut compounds and polishers. And that's, I would say, leave it to the professionals. Get a good talk to a lot of people that have had certain success depending on the severity of how bad your clear coat is. Okay. And look up all the YouTubers and take a class. Please do. All right. We're moving on. Last but not least, we're on to shine, seal, and protect. Okay. And again, I would advise going on YouTube, but you're going to want to seal the paint. Now that you've done all that hard work, and trust me, compound and polish can take literally all day, and then you'll want to do it. If you really, really want to do a good job, you'll rest and you'll go on the next day and see where you can continue to compound and polish, or now you're ready for sealing and rinse and repeat kind of sense. But you want to seal the paint. I've used, for non-ceramic coated cars, I've used Jescar sealant, and that stuff is amazing. Okay, it's Jescar, and I'm not a sponsored. I wish I was getting paid for all this YouTube and podcast nonsense, but that stuff is a miracle worker, man. That stuff makes your paint smooth as butter, and it's a good sealant, even for Southern California. But there's tons of them that you'll want to take a look at. But I use that company. And then after you seal the paint, and that's definitely a wash and repeat, or rinse and repeat, right? You're going to want to seal it, wipe it off, seal it again, and then wipe it off, right? For that extra layer, and letting it set into the clear coat. That'll give you your best results. But hey, a once over, it's better than nothing, right? But you definitely want to seal it, because now your paint, after compounding and polishing, is bare, right? Like you have no protectant on it, zero. You definitely don't want to take it to the car show right after. You got to seal it up. And then after the sealing, then you can go and have fun. Then you apply your wax, okay? Or your product, your ceramic sprays, your bead locker. That's a good one. PNS, a bead locker, I think is what it's called. But you're going to want to add that clarity and depth into your paint back with your waxes, with your sealants, your bead lockers, all that good stuff. And so have fun with it. Look up different products. Try different stuff. Again, I'm used to the Jescar Colonite is the name of it, combination. And I got that one from Obsessed Garage. And honestly, truthfully, that's the car comes out beautiful. But there's so much that you can do. Now, I would recommend, if you're going to just do your run-of-the-mill wax, just remember that wax only lasts a couple of weeks, especially if you're driving it around. If it's a Garage Queen, it'll last about a month. But wax is all natural, right? Carnauba wax. And so it gives you the best shine, but it's not going to last very long, especially even on top of a sealant. You're going to get back down to the sealant, and then the sealant's going to wear out quicker because there's no sacrificial layer from a wax. So, but have fun with it. Go try different stuff and see which one you like the best, and see what kind of compound, chemical combination works with the sealant that you used. But there's so much you can look up, right? And last but not least, true ceramic coating. Now, ceramic has been kind of an overplayed term now, but when I talk about ceramic coating, I'm talking about like the true kind of stuff. Detail Garage has Carbon Force, which is good up to 5 years. There's the graphene coatings now. That's the new hot stuff. I've used the Ceramic Pro. I'm really, really happy with that. CQ Quartz, I think. That's like the top of the line stuff, and they guarantee their stuff for about 7 to 10 years. Those require professionals, dude. I'm telling you right now, I would not ceramic coat my car and not know what I'm doing. Reason being is you're adding that micron layer of a glass, essentially, right? Ceramic. And if you have, for any reason, any high spot, or you didn't do it right, or maybe you didn't compound and polish correctly, and now you have some swirl marks you wanted to get rid of, but you ceramic coated over it, now it's going to be a pain in the neck to kind of get rid of that coating through your DA polisher. You might have to get a rotary polisher, which that can really screw up your paint, right? Not knowing how to properly rotary polish. I would never touch one without training, okay? But if you are going to want to go a true ceramic coating route, just pay a professional, dude. There's so many products out there that have so many guarantees with it. I would definitely do some shopping, but I know CQ Quartz, Ceramic Pro, which is what I've used, and Detail Garage's Carbon Force are decent products. And check out some of the new stuff, the graphene stuff from oh gosh, I'm picturing. I know what I'm looking. Atoms, right? Atoms is they're doing some of their graphene coatings, and I heard that's new hotness. So, anyways, I will stop it there for now. That's just your basics, all about detailing. Just a good, quick rundown. I always think of The Office. I know it. I love it. A good, quick rundown of it. And already 25-minute podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Okay. This is Labor Day, so I got this out, and dude, my my September, I made this joke on my calendar. It looks like it freaking has chicken pox, dude. It is just covered in dots. My September is very, very, very full. So I will do my best to try to get out a podcast at least once every 2 weeks. If I can do it weekly, I will. I promise. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for tuning in. Keep driving your mind. Stay positive. I'll drive my mind. Continue to support the YouTube channel. Get some friends to tune in on this podcast. I'm telling you, if they love the rants and raves, you love my personality, you love my sarcasm and slightly negative outlook on life, definitely have them tune in. But thank you guys so much. Keep the ratchet stuff at home, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.